See, I'm building up a bit of firewood and I've got a lot of bricks laying around. A lot of these bricks are fairly rubbish. You should be just broken up and put in the driveway, but we've got a little project going in place of where the old chimney used to be, and done a little bit of experiment with the old hot water system to try and turn it into a thermal mass heater. Really turned it into just a bit of a mess, and I realised it wasn't really going to work, and primarily because I just didn't have enough soil in the system for it to act as a thermal mass heater. Some of you may have seen these on TV. They're also known as masonry heaters, they're also known as Russian ovens, and everybody knows the Swedish have these. I got rid of all the bricks on the base here and brought it right down to literally 6 large bluestone stones, basalt, like all this stuff that we got around here. But these were giant big ones that have been actually cut and sort of, you know, in some cases chipped to shape. They were huge. It was a foundation for the original chimney. After I'd done that, I poured some concrete, which goes to about there. This here is perlite and cement mix. The entire layer of this is basically fire brick, right on the bottom. I have then used a modified car propane tank. Yes, it's a paper cup in there. And this was going to be another wood heater that had a small door, and I decided that this door wasn't going to be big enough. So my father sort of welded it closed and then turned it into a giant door. We have basically 3 foot inside there. Just about an inch off 3 foot, I think it is. But it's probably exactly 3 foot if you go from the dome part in the middle to the dome part at the back. I have acquired some refractory mortar. You get bugger all for $200. None of it has been used yet for this. And as you can see, I'm a fair way along with all of this. The top layer of all this fire brick, I just put like a layer of sand and cement. I think that's actually mortar that I've just laid in there. Got a good load of bricks there. A few bluestone pavers, that's actually properly cut out of a quarry. I've got a whole heap more of those which will make up the inside wall when I remove all this, in which case I've gotten rid of quite a few of the screws. So a lot of this should just, this one and this one should lift out, and I'll take it away from the back, and I've got to sort of put formwork inside and try and sort of stack the pavers on their edge like this again inside, and then fill the rest up with sand and cement. That's still steel for the meantime. I was going to put this straight to here and straight out, but I've decided I'm actually going to go out this way and then back this way so that I catch as much heat as possible inside of this. But I'm going to need to have a little brick that's probably another fire brick I've made up that goes from the inside backwards, so I can get the soot out from this angle, and then another one here so I can get out from this angle. But if I just go straight back, it's probably not going to get that much heat in, as opposed to sort of going upwards and then turning around and coming back. In that case, I'll need refractory mortar. A lot of these are the original bricks out of the chimney and the junk. I've got some house bricks off of my grandparents, which I'm currently breaking mortar off of, and they're really, really good and really strong, whereas these ones, if you drop them, sometimes they'll crack, because they're just too old, and quite frankly the quality of the clay is really bloody questionable. But the stuff that's off my grandparents' house is yeah, really good. So that's going to be the main chimney part, is going to be the better bricks that they've got. And you know, some of this has got a little bit of mud cracking. This is because I've used sand that's actually come off my uncle's farm that he bought over here before he was completely evicted by the sheriff, and it doesn't always go too well with cement. You get a little bit of mud cracking. But tomorrow I'm going to go and get some more proper pre-mixed bagged mortar and cement, and maybe even some sand and cement mix, which you can buy bagged, that doesn't have any mud cracking issues, and continue on with this. Followed by vermiculite, because I can't get any more perlite, and cement and sand to make a giant fire brick cover that I sort of render over the outside of this once this is all built up, which is probably going to be built up to a height of about here or something. And yeah, it'll get that final render. I may have to put chicken wire to hold that render, and then it'll get another corrugated iron cover with a metal frame over the outside of this. And I'm going to have another giant big fire brick, which will probably plop out here and sort of just be able to fold up to keep the heat from escaping out of the front. And I'm probably going to be able to lift that up, and there might be another door that swings back one way or the other just to keep the rain from getting in here, because I don't have a great feeling that even if I render this with a perlite sand and cement mix, that the water's not going to drain through it all. And I do need to put a bit of expansion foam between the timber and the bricks that went a little bit far past the end there. And stupidly, I went a little bit far past the end, and I'm going to have some real fun rendering the back end of this, and at least the last couple of foot on this side before I realised, and then moved the bricks in to give me enough room to lay this render in. Anyway, this is one of the things that I'm trying to rush to do, because I got a whole week off after I got the Easter, weekend, and then an entire week off after that. So yeah, we're trying to get most of this, at least all the brickwork done anyway, before I go back and have to do the rendering and the remains probably afterwards.